Hey everybody, this is Rob Archangel of Archangel Ink, www.archangelink.com, and in this video I want to talk about cover design. Cover design is really important and it's also a lot of fun. It's something that we do a whole lot of and really enjoy doing. And one of the questions that we get from authors, from people who are interested in either doing it themselves or having us do it is, what are the principles involved? What are the best practices of cover design? Do you have any resources that you can direct me toward? And what's it like working with Archangel Ink for cover design? So first off, there are really two goals for cover design from our perspective. And the first goal is you want it to look professional. You want it to not look amateurish. You want it to look interesting and use high quality imagery and appropriate typeface and layout and have the basic design elements that you would look for from a professional design, so that it doesn't send the signal to prospective readers that it is a second-rate production and not worth their time. The second thing that you want to do is you want it to be original, you want it to be creative, you want it to be inventive and compelling, but you also want it to speak the language of the genre that you're speaking to. There are expectations that your readers likely have when they are looking for books, and they're going to decide in an instant whether this book is going to be appropriate for them and their interests. So the example I sometimes give is, if you have a vampire romance novel, you don't want it to look like a medical textbook, and if you have a medical textbook, you don't want it to look like a vampire romance novel. And it's pretty obvious when you put it in those terms, but it applies even down to smaller genres. You really want to know the market, you want to know what the idiom is of your reading audience, and you want to speak to that. Now, again, you want to be interesting and creative and distinctive in your own, but you don't want to be so groundbreaking, so genre-defying that they don't know what to do with it, that they look at it and they don't have any sense of, oh yeah, this is a book that speaks to me and my sensibilities and what I'm interested in. So if you want to do it yourself, there are a couple of resources that I can direct you toward. One is the DIY book covers course by Derrick Murphy. Derrick Murphy is really, really good. He's one of the best in the industry. When we were starting out, we leaned on his experience and his writing and his philosophy a lot, and he continues to do really great work. I think he doesn't do too much these days, but he has a DIY book covers course which you can read. You can also check out the Archangel Ink DIY book cover or DIY module in our course and learn a little bit more about cover design from us, as well as lots of other things. That said, we generally recommend that if you have the option, that you decide to get your cover designed by someone who has experience and has professionalism, and that's because you only have one chance to make a first impression. If you put a book out there and you have a cover that doesn't look good, that doesn't look sharp, that doesn't speak to your target audience, and you are fortunate enough to get the eyes of an original reader, of somebody who is just finding it for the first time, you want to make the best first impression that you can. They may not give you a second look or a second thought if you don't speak to them immediately, if you don't pass the eye test, if they immediately look at it and think, nah, that doesn't look good, that doesn't look professional, it doesn't look like it's made by somebody who knows what they're doing, so the book maybe is not going to be worth my while either. You don't want to cast that impression. You want them to have as little hesitation as possible in clicking through. They see your title, they like your title, they want to read your book description, they want to read the reviews that people are writing about you. All of that has to be really cohesive and done well to smooth out the process so that your prospective reader has a lot of faith and confidence in your work. So along with editing, it's one of the things that we really recommend. If you don't have experience doing it yourself, really consider getting some outside help. Now, let's talk a little bit about Archangel Ink and what it's like working with us. I would say that for us, our process is fairly designer-driven, and that's because we really love doing it, and we're really familiar with the market and really comfortable with delivering really great material, and we want to help you put your best foot forward. One of the things that we find sometimes is authors have a very specific vision, a very distinctive vision of what they want, and even if we executed it flawlessly, we translated what's in their head to something on the screen, if what's on the screen doesn't speak to your prospective readers, it doesn't do you any favors. If you're really close to the material, or if you have a highly specific notion of what you want it to be, that in some cases may actually make it more difficult for readers to connect with you. And if you come to us, we see our duty and our responsibility as making that reader connection and that prospective buyer connection as easy as possible. So when you come to us, you'll get a questionnaire, and it has some information on there that we ask of you. Things like bibliographic data, the title and the subtitle, and the author name as you want it to appear. We'll also ask you for elements that really should be there. For example, if you have a company logo that you want to integrate, let us know. Or elements that shouldn't be there. So you hate the color orange, or you don't want the look of a collage book or something. Let us know, and we'll incorporate that feedback as well. We also ask you for the categories that you plan to compete in. And again, going back to speaking the language of the market and of your reading audience, we want to make your book look like it belongs among the top performers in its field. It's got to be strong, and it's got to speak that language so that readers know, yep, this is a book about juicing, or this is a book about bodybuilding, or this is a book about habit development, or whatever. So we ask for the categories in order to make sure that what we're producing is going to speak to your target audience. We also ask you for a handful of books that preferably are in your genre, but that speak to your sensibility, that you really like, that strike a chord with you, and that allows us to get a sense of kind of where you're coming from and try and match our vision with, or our creation with your vision. So after you provide that information, we ask your trust, we ask your confidence, and your faith in us, because we really want the best for you. We want your book to do really well, and we've done this a lot. I'll give you some examples down below of some of our book covers on our website and on our Facebook page. You can get a sense of what we've done. We really, really like doing covers. It's a lot of fun. It's great to put something out that feels really good, that's really sharp. And some of the stuff that we put out, I think, boy, this is so good. I really want to read this book now. And that's great. That's what we want for you too. So if you decide that you want to work with us, there's information down below. You can contact us and let us know, and we can have that conversation. But I hope that's been helpful. If you have any other questions or information that you're looking for, let me know in the comments. And again, this is Rob Archangel of archangelink.com.